Good evening, my family. So, all right. So we're on this purpose series, right? So, the name of this series is "Trusting God Isn't Always Easy." All right. Um, this is part two. Part one was being content in God's will. Part two is us as the children of Israel. All right. So, so I thought it was important for us to peel back some layers on this one because oftentimes God delivers us. He gets us out of situations, and it seems like oftentimes we forget what He did for us yesterday and complain today as if as if He's not good to us, as if He has forsaken us, as if He never was there for us, as if He never protected us, as if he as if He just never um, as if He's never there. All right. So um, so I was talking about my my weekend last weekend or the weekend before that. So excuse me. So considered, I was troubled spiritually and mentally and everything. It's a trip because God had just got me through something, right? Um, and I think I spoke about this last week. He had just got me through something, and then 5 minutes later, now I'm complaining. Because I'm looking at my life and I feel like it should be much better. Like I feel like I should be much further, and all these different things, and it made me, being ungrateful. It made me not like no longer be content in His will, right? As if I forgot what He just did. All right, so the children of Israel. That's why this one is called that, because, like I said, we all tend to forget, His goodness and His grace and His mercy on us and everything. So that's why we own this right here. So I'm gonna start Exodus chapter 13, verse 21 and 22. Now I'm not gonna go through all of Exodus. Just read certain verses, to kind of paint the picture, and we're gonna see what God did for. Well, most of us know that that God delivered Israelites from Egypt, all right, from bondage, and He was taking them to the promised land. So, but they ran through obstacles over a course of 40 years, and that was due to them, not God. All right. So, by day the excuse me, by day the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to guide them on their way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so that they could travel by day or night. Neither Neither the pillar of cloud by day nor the pillar of fire by night left its place in front of the people. I For you guys who have consciously and chosen to allow God to uh, walk you into your purpose, you've chosen to live your life according to your purpose in which God created you to do. I want you to know, just like right here, God will guide you, but you have to be willing to let Him. All right. Forgive me, I'm like super stopped up, like crazy. Uh, so we're gonna go to chapter 14, verses verse 4. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will pursue them. But I will gain glory for myself through Pharaoh and all his army, and the Egyptians will know that I am Lord. So, Pharaoh is about to pursue the Israelites, right? So obviously, God has already delivered them. All right. So God want me to tell you and tell us that He will deliver us to get to get us to where he's taking us. And the Egyptians will know that I am Lord. God will allow us to stay where we are. God will allow us to stay where we are so he can always remind us that he is Lord. All right. Uh, so we're going to slide down to verse 10. As Pharaoh approached, the Israelites looked up, and there were the Egyptians marching after them. They were terrified and cried out to the Lord. This is where the complaining come in at, right? Obviously they forgot about yesterday, right? So now they're complaining today. Excuse me. They said to Moses, "Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you brought us to the desert to die? What have you done to us by bringing us out of Egypt? Didn't we say to you in Egypt, 'Leave us alone, let us serve the Egyptians'? It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the desert." Now, God has delivered them from bondage. He has assigned Moses to them to lead them to lead them to the promised land as God guide them. All right. So because situations are hard now, because it's challenges now, they're full of fear. They are afraid. Now they're complaining. They're complaining like they much rather stay in bondage than to be free. But the thing is, they're showing lack of faith, although they have seen what God can do and what He has done. Excuse me. But they still complaining. So I love this part. So Moses answered the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Your situation right now, like you may be afraid because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what tomorrow holds. You don't know the consequences of your decisions. You don't know like you just afraid. You don't see no way out of it. As Moses told them, just stand firm and you will see a deliverance, but you must be patient. All right. So, three things real quick: be patient and wait on his deliverance. Okay. And then the Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me?" Obviously, Moses went to God, right? But he didn't go to God seeking instruction from what I'm gathering. Like, it's like he went in a sense of fear too. I could be wrong. But God told him, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on. Raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water so that the Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground." Now, one, be patient, all right? Two, seek God. Ask for instructions, what to do, all right? Three, he told him to raise your staff. See, it wasn't about the staff in his hand. It was about faith, all right? It was about his obedience and faith, all right? The staff, he just used that as a tool. It's the faith that activates God's power in and through us. But we have to be willing to move. When he say, by faith, we have to believe and act in obedience. So whatever you're going through, be patient, wait on his deliverance. In the process, seek him, ask for instructions, ask for wisdom, ask for understanding. And when he tell you what to do, be willing to move. You have the faith. Activate that faith and make it happen. And free yourself from the bondage as you follow Christ. All right. Love.